Brunswick gets between 2 to 3 meters of snow yearly. If it weren't for snowplows, people would not be able to drive their vehicles, access medical services, or be able to get food during the winter. It is for those reasons why snow clearing is so important.
The months of the year that we can expect snowfall is between October and May, usually mid to late October to early May. And we've had significant snowfall events in that time frame throughout the last few years. So we have to have people ready, willing, and available to provide winter maintenance activities.
Highways are a major corridor in the province that allow quick access between communities and provinces. These roads are especially vital to keep clear during winter. The province of New Brunswick is in a private-public partnership with SNC-Lavalin, who operates and maintains a section of the Trans-Canada Highway. This section of highway connects New Brunswick to the United States and also Quebec. It is the responsibility of these parties to keep the highway lanes clear during the winter.
For snowplow operators, their responsibilities are to be readily available within an hour of being called in to respond to any winter storm events. And once we have them in, they spend their time plowing, salting, sanding, and when necessary, some of them get moved over into snowblowing after the fact. But it's a pretty intensive operations where we run 24 hours a day during a storm to keep the highway as clear as possible and to complete the cleanup afterwards.
So the types of snowplow trucks that we have at SNC-Lavalin here are basically two of our main types. Are a two-way blade mounted on the front of a truck, and it can go left or to the right, as well as a wing mounted on the right-hand side. And we have a tow plow system that we deploy. And the tow plow is mounted on the rear of a vehicle. It's like a trailer type of plow. It comes out, covers our main lane and our shoulder, and that truck there also has a two-way plow on it as well. This goes left and right.
Snowplow operators take their job seriously and are vital to keeping New Brunswick going throughout the winter.
During a storm event or a weather event, they are responsible for looking after a section of highway that's typically about 80 kilometers long, and it goes to a turnaround and back. So their basic responsibility is to operate the truck safely, to get it up and down the highway. They work as a team, and they're led by the road patroller. So their job is to take the information given by the road patroller. They enter in the spread rates for their particular product they're putting down into their computer. They also perform their own maintenances as needed. You know, light stuff, we have team mechanics here for sure, but they do some light maintenance, washing trucks, making sure that they're at tip-top shape so that when they're called upon to go again, that they're able and ready to go.
SNC-Lavalin plows the highway typically using what's called echelon plowing, and what we have is a front plow, which would have your front plow and wing, and then we have a rear plow, and in the rear plow it has the front plow and a tow plow attachment, which will do the driving lane and the shoulder. So the front plow is ahead on the passing lane, and the rear plow would be doing the driving lane and shoulder. So that's typically how we plow the highway, and we just kind of go as a group up the highway to ensure both lanes are cleared.
Snow is not the only concern during winter. There is also freezing rain, sleet, drifting snow, and refreezing of water already on the road. Each of these conditions require different actions taken by the operators. For example, anti-icing, which consists of a mixture of salt and water, known as brine, is applied to the roads when specific conditions are met. It is therefore very important that weather is monitored and predicted accurately.
We monitor and predict weather events through a third-party consultant who uses weather mapping and modeling to provide us with the forecast. We use that forecast to compare it with what Environment Canada has put out and other weather services. And we also have temperature gauges on the trucks, and with the temperature gauges on the trucks we can use the information like air temperature from our third-party consultant and use it with real-time information on the ground to make decisions about our winter maintenance activities, which would possibly predict the use of salt or sand depending on which way the temperature is going and what's expected to happen with the surface and air temperature.
There are several hazards to plow operators during snow removal operations, including slippery conditions, poor visibility, and the motorized public. This is why snow removal companies have to be innovative in coming up with solutions for these concerns.
we've developed and implemented what's called a safety swing arm for our lead plows. And it is essentially a gate, an illuminated gate, which goes out when the lead plow has its wing down. This lets the motoring public know that there's an obstruction ahead, and in certain snow conditions you cannot see the right-hand wing on the lead plow, and some people have a tendency of trying to pass in between our trucks, and with that, this visible barrier prevents them from doing it, or at least lets them know that there's something they can't see that may cause issues ahead. And so it's eliminated a lot of motor vehicle accidents that have occurred over time, and it's very beneficial.
Keeping the road safe during winter is no small feat in New Brunswick. It takes a lot of planning, time, and dedication. Those who work to keep the roads clear know the importance of their job and work their hardest to make sure people are safe when traveling in the winter.
I have a wife and children, and I know that if they're traveling on the highway, that kind of plays in my mind somewhat to make sure that it stays as safe as we can make it. Obviously the weather acts as a deterrent sometimes, and even our best efforts is difficult to stay ahead of storms, but I enjoy the job.
If it weren't for snowplow operators, people in New Brunswick wouldn't be able to stay connected during the winter. It is because of their efforts that we are able to enjoy the great quality of life that we have, even during the winter.